Welcome, Dragon Ball fans, to GameCast's definitive destination for all things Dragon Ball. I am one of your Dragon Ball hosts, or should I say G-Fighterz host, and your other host that joins us today is Mark. How are you today, Mark?
I'm good. I feel like we were trying to come up with a title for ourselves, but couldn't quite grasp it. One of these days.
We did our best.
One of these days.
We did our best, yeah. Apologies for missing last week. Mark and I had very busy schedules. Mark probably had more fun. I was preparing for a house inspection. But to kick this episode off, I found a hilarious meme today. Well, I thought it was hilarious that I got tagged in on Facebook, and I was like, I have to show this to Mark. But I thought we'd save it for the record because we love taking the piss out of Yamcha. I mean, who doesn't? But Mark, look at your meme.
I have not seen that one.
Do you want to read it out for us?
When you get roasted by the weakest dude in the squad, and it's Magikarp destroying Yamcha.
I'll put that one up on the screen for you guys, because this is one of those memes where, you know, you've seen them all now, but every so often one just takes you by storm, and that's one of them. Oh, Mark, what have you been up to? You been getting up to anything Dragon Ball related?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the meme.
Oh, it's a strong meme.
It is. It's like, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Well, I'll go first then. I have been cruel to myself. I've been watching more Dragon Ball GT.
Oh, yeah?
I'm up to about, technically, which I didn't actually realize this until last night upon further research, but technically I'm up to like episode 25 or 27.
Oh, wow.
And this is only like a 60 episode series. However, the movie collection that I own on DVD, it starts at about episode 16. They cut out the first 16 episodes for the DVD collection for the US, which is very strange, even though the first 16 episodes are also dubbed and are available in other box sets. Just so happens that the box that I have doesn't include the first 16 episodes. And for those of you that do not know how GT starts, it basically starts with a lot of just space exploration, foolery type stuff to set up kind of really ease you into the series. Which I probably would have liked to have seen, because when I popped my box set in, the first DVD in a couple of weeks ago, which started at episode 16, I thought it started rather abruptly. So now I know why. The only reason I actually uncovered this was I was getting tired of getting up to put my DVDs in, changing the DVDs for the collection. Because, you know, it's a DVD and only holds, on this box set, 4 episodes, which 20 minutes a piece, you're getting up a lot to change DVDs. So I thought, well, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go watch it at Kiss Anime Online and just stream it, so I don't actually have to get up. And then I started at the episode that I thought I was up to, which was about episode 10, and I was like, what the shit is this? Like, lost episodes that I'd never seen, and I had to go research and like, movie collection 1, missing episodes, and there you go. Turns out I'm missing a bunch of episodes. Am I enjoying it so far, though?
Are you?
Yes and no. Yes and no. A lot of it's a little bit silly. A lot of it's very 90s. I will say this. I've been enjoying it more since I've swapped over to streaming for 2 reasons. One, the story has started progressing more in terms of Baby and him being the main protagonist. I actually think Baby is like a really cool character who I'd actually love to see come back as true, real life, I don't like using this word, canon in the Super Universe. I think that would be awesome. I think the idea of, I know we've done the possession thing before, but I think the way that it's told for Baby is really cool. So I'd love to see another take on him. So I am enjoying it for that reason. And we've just reached Earth. So he's just come to Earth. He's starting to take people and people's bodies and all that kind of stuff. And the second reason I'm enjoying it is because the music, the Japanese music, when I swapped from the US music on my box set to the Japanese online, it's way more chirpy and less 90s. And I'm digging it. It feels way fresher and feels more like Dragon Ball. So if you are willing to rewatch GT, I highly recommend you try to do it with the Japanese audio.
Oh, I feel like we'll need to actually tackle that challenge where we watch GT at some point now.
I'm already ahead of you, Mark. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm going for broke now.
Yeah. You're in too deep.
I'm in too deep. I have to finish. I'll tell you what, when you eventually finish, surely I will have finished before you. But when you eventually get to it and finish, then we'll have our discussion about it.
After movie
Maybe
13.
we'll do 2 episodes. Yeah, after movie 13. We'll do 2 episodes of it. We'll do the baby and then we'll do Shenron.
Yeah.
Done. Anywho, Mark, do you want to try tackle anything that you've been up to?
Yeah, I remember now.
Ooh.
So that mobile game that I was playing ages ago that I did a review for, Dragon Ball Legends, I got back into it. And it's been updating pretty regularly. Like a lot of stuff's happened now. We've got a few more characters from Super, so they've added Frost.
Cool.
Yeah, which is interesting. I think Cabba's in it as well. But they've also added, like, in terms of the actual story, it's Android Saga now. And so there's some pretty cool characters in it. And the original character that's sort of the story revolves around in this, he can now go Super Saiyan. Which is awesome because now it opens up a heck of a lot more.
Who is
ability.
the main character?
It's this new Saiyan called Charlotte.
I fucking knew it was him. I've been trying to pinpoint where he comes from, like in the universe, for so long now.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so now he can go Super Saiyan, and it's pretty cool. And I want to see where this game will go from here. And also, it's just got a huge budget for a phone game. It is super impressive.
Yeah, I'm yet to really sink time into it, mainly because I don't really have much of a valid reason other than just busy, but mostly because when I would play, I'm usually out and it keeps giving me data warnings. This, and I'm just paranoid about going over my data, or I'm always close to my data. Yeah. So it's probably one of those games I need to play at home.
Yeah, fair. I only play it at home too, just because I usually sit down as like a console.
Yeah.
But it is cool as well. They have added Janemba and Gogeta, which it's just super hype.
Yeah. Just awesome. No, it's awesome. That's sick. All right, Mark. We have 2 pieces of news today.
Yep.
Both of them are super related, so we unfortunately don't have much video game news for you this week. We have... Firstly, let's kick it off with a small one. We got a little bit more backstory via the manga, the super manga, this week for Jiren and his motivations in the tournament. Obviously, in the super anime, the series, his motivations for attaining strength was, I guess, he developed a complex. He thought power, equaled security, and he basically just, from my understanding, he wanted to almost secure his future, and he developed complexes around that from the trauma that happened to him as a child when his family was killed, when he considered himself to be weak, right? So he thinks through power comes supreme judgment, and nothing can be done wrong by him because of his supreme power. Is that kind of a fair explanation, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you can say it like that. I thought it was more who's chucking a hissy fit. His family thing was bad, but it's like the second time it happened, it seemed like he was chucking a hissy fit.
Yeah, it's very Batman-esque, but done poorly.
Yeah, because I feel like they rushed through it in the anime.
They did. They absolutely did. If there was one time where I wish they just dedicated a flashback episode, that would have been it. Anyway, though, the manga does elaborate on it. Not so much his backstory, but his motivations for being in the Tournament of Power, like his more selfish motivations. And I actually quite appreciate this backstory. It's basically his desire and his wish would have been to wish back his master to basically get his final approval from his master who died or was killed before he could really check him off as being an accomplished student and to then succeed his master. So that's his motivations beyond just survival in the tournament was a selfish motivation to wish his master back just to get his approval. So I quite like that touch. I like it. What are your thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, I thought it was good that they added some more motivation because I think before fans just sort of chalked it up to everyone else's motivation is to survive. Especially since like Jiren, especially in the way they were doing the anime, it's like, oh, it's big, super powerful, unstoppable force, and just consistently saying big, super powerful, unstoppable force. Tiny bit of backstory doesn't really explain anything as to why he's a Pride Trooper or anything like that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we had his motivations for power, but we didn't necessarily have... We know that he's quite a selfish, self-motivated character. And we know that, I mean, he's just there fighting for his universe, but ultimately, you know, he wants to be a badass as well because he's the most powerful. But, you know, having this extra wish kind of really makes sense for his character. Like, it is all self-motivated.
It added a layer the series needed.
Absolutely. And I mean, hopefully, I still hope that we somewhere along the lines get his character and story fleshed out a little bit more, because he is one of the most... I mean, he is very one-dimensional, even for a Dragon Ball character.
Even his design for a certain level.
Yeah.
You're like a big grey guy.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at all the other Dragon Ball characters, protagonists through Dragon Ball Z, you know, with Frieza, yeah, the whole of fucking Namek was fleshing out Frieza. You know, Vegeta, I mean, look at Vegeta. He's turned into one of the most probably complex filled characters in Dragon Ball, and he's had real evolution and backstory. Obviously, I know that he's a ongoing main character, but and Cell as well. I mean, Cell, you could argue that he's pretty one-dimensional, but he has that kind of Saiyan pride laid in as well, which kind of, you know, he's got the Dr. Gero motivations, but he's also got that whole same pride aspect too. And you could argue that the whole Dr. Gero is more of his backstory rather than still having his own backstory.
Look at Dr. Gero in general, like from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly.
To Z.
Yeah. So, you know, Jiren really is one of those, you know, take it or leave it type, not a lot happening type characters. So it's nice to see him get another little tidbit of information, and hopefully we get more. I imagine we will, because I'm going to assume in true Dragon Ball fashion he's going to become a recurring character. So wait and see what happens, I guess.
Super Universe Survival Arc.
Oh my god.
Like, there are so many universes we haven't seen yet.
That's true. I mean, I personally don't think we're going to get another another tournament anytime soon. At least I really hope we don't.
It'd be smarter if they don't, but this is Dragon Ball, where we've had 2 tournament arcs in Super, and Super's not all that long.
No, this is fan service series, so yeah, it's more than possible. Moving along though, Mark, and I will quickly put out a Broly spoiler warning now, because we do cover a lot of the upcoming movie details that get leaked. Or not even leaked, it just gets revealed.
Yeah, like, here you go.
Again, in true Toei style, revealing little tidbits all the time regarding the movie. So here's your spoiler warning right now. Click off if you don't want to hear anything right now. Raditz, Mark. Kid Raditz. Revealed via 3 animation angle shots like we've had with a lot of the other character bios. Raditz is coming back as a kid. He's going to be in the new movie. In the flashback scenes, or perhaps they travel to the past, we don't know yet, but he is going to be in the movie at the very least in his kid shape and form. So I'm assuming he's going to be interacting with Vegeta quite frequently, because they seem to have some kind of relationship in Dragon Ball Z. They knew each other, so I'm assuming they have a history as kids. And I'm actually digging the Raditz, his style as a kid. I think he looks really cool.
I think they've given all of the kids a little more style than general Dragon Ball ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, you don't actually see too many kids in Dragon Ball. It's just Goku as a kid, then Goten, Trunks, and Gohan for most of it. And all of them have very similar bodies and faces.
Let's jump straight into it, Mark. What do you want this to mean? The Raditz reveal as a kid. Is that the exciting bit for you, or is the prospect of him being in the film in some way as an adult more exciting, or the prospect of him maybe existing in another universe and coming into Super on a more permanent basis? Like, what is your fan dream for Raditz now after this news?
Having him as an adult would be funny just because of power scaling, because we know he's just the weakest thing imaginable.
Although, I mean, another universe, anything could happen, right?
It's like, what if he's like the training dummy for Cyberman?
I would love if he also treated Nappa like shit.
But I think what it may or may not spell out is what Goku's family unit will be like now.
Yeah.
Because, like, as we've seen, this is sort of retconning some of the things that we thought were already established or weren't canon but actually were, or were canon but actually aren't, and things like that with Bardock and Goku's mother. I forgot her name. Appearing,
Gain.
Yeah, Gain. Appearing in this one together, and Goku being a bit of a toddler when he's sent off. So we might get a glimpse at like an actual family unit. But Raditz might actually be a bit of an outsider to that, and he might be hanging out with Vegeta, and you don't know how that sort of might affect their thing, just because they need to have a reason why Raditz was an antagonist to Goku in the first episode.
Well, maybe he falls more in line with his father. Like, he's older than Goku. Maybe he spent more time with like a real male Saiyan who is violent. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, my hope is that, you know, Raditz being in this movie as a child actually has some kind of meaning and purpose, like you said, and I want that meaning to be a little bit of backstory for him appearing as an adult in this movie somehow, maybe from another universe or something. I don't want it to be just a case of like... He didn't actually die. Yeah. I mean, I just don't want it to be a case of, oh, there's Raditz as a kid, there's a nice little touch, cool, all right, let's move on. I don't want it to be a case of that. I mean, my ultimate like dream, because I really liked Raditz, I'd love to see where that character could have gone. I'd really love Raditz. Almost called him Carrots then.
He's a radish.
He's a radish.
Goku's really a carrot.
Goku's the carrot. I would really love for Raditz to actually appear as a more frequent character through Dragon Ball, or at least Dragon Ball Super, like, because I just like the character. One of my biggest, to me, it was like almost more of a no-brainer in a lot of ways for the Tournament of Power, was rather than resurrecting Frieza, somebody that you have very little control over, was to maybe resurrect Raditz, because obviously Vegeta would have a bit more of a relationship with Raditz that could be controlled, in terms of like, you know, because he's the principal Saiyans, right?
Yeah, well, it would be interesting just to revive the Saiyan race. Yeah,
exactly. But I mean, like, at the very least, like, I thought they could have revived Raditz, done a crash course with Raditz with him, Goku, and Vegeta in the hyperbolic time chamber for, like, you know, 2 years, crash coursed him with Whis, got him up to snuff with Super Saiyan Blue, and then brought him into the Tournament of Power. Like, that's just like, to me, it's like, all right.
If Raditz got any form of Super Saiyan, it'd be so frustrating.
Could you imagine his hair?
Ugh.
Like, what does that look like? Does it just stay? Surely it stays the same. Like, it's too heavy.
It'd look like he's level 3 all the time.
Yeah, you'd be like, hang on, is he Super Saiyan 1 or Super Saiyan 3?
He's got eyebrows.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the character, man.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him outside of his child form, so.
If he's blue, he'd look like Sonic.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, think about that.
Oh, I'm putting that in the thumbnail. Blue-haired Raditz. Oh, anyway, any final thoughts, Mark, regarding Raditz in the movie?
Bring back some of the other Saiyans as well. Have Turles just there.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Just to confuse everything.
Little dark-skinned Goku over there.
Cut from the same mold.
Were there any other random Saiyans?
All right,
have Vegeta's brother from that spin-off movie that was never dubbed.
No, which is practically Kaba now, really.
Pretty much.
Let's leave it there. Let's move along. Let's just quickly go to our brief musical break, and we'll be back with our Cooler Revenge. Cooler Revenge or Revenge of Cooler? Can't remember which way it goes, Mark. Either way, we'll be back on the other side of this break with that discussion. Welcome back, Dragon Ball fans, to our Revenge of Cooler, Cooler's Revenge. Again, can't remember which way it goes. Mark's confused me. We discussed this before the record.
I think I constantly think it's Revenge of the Sith, like in Star Wars.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure it's Cooler's Revenge.
It is Cooler's Revenge.
Thank God. Anyway, some fun facts about this movie. This movie originally released in 1991. It has a runtime of 47 minutes. It scored a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It took 2.2 billion Japanese yen, and that equates to 16.2 million at the US box office. And we received the English dub in 2002. So 11 years difference between the dubs. So that the time's starting to expand between the dubs, which is interesting. To quickly summarize the movie, not that we really need to based on this title, Frieza's brother Cooler plans to destroy his family's... destroy. Holy shit. Well, I mean, he ultimately does that. I'll try that again. Frieza's brother Cooler plans to restore his family's honor by slaying Goku. Yep, that's it. He's not after Dragon Balls. He's not after anything. He just wants to restore some form of family pride. Mark, let's jump into our general discussion of the story. You're quite a fan of this movie.
Yeah. Did
it hold up for you?
It did. Lately I wasn't too sure. Like, some movies that I thought were good didn't turn out that great, and things that I thought were average actually did turn out solid. So I was a little bit worried about this one. But it does.
Well, that's how I felt about Lord Slug last week, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I was surprised. It did hold up pretty well. There isn't like a whole lot of story to this one. Like, that summary pretty much is the thing. Cooler rocks up. Pretty much the whole thing takes place in this little like valley-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't go very far. They're just like, hey, Goku's in this forest. Let's do this.
That's pretty much it.
It's go time.
Yep. Again, falls very much in alignment with how Lord Slug was handled in terms of no faffing about. They got straight into it, which thank God, because the movie before that, being The Tree of Might, went, I think, like 18 minutes longer, and it was 18 minutes of shit.
Among other minutes of average.
Yes. Still hating on Tree of Might.
But yeah, like, there isn't much to it. Stays focused. There is a little bit of a lull as sort of Goku's incapacitated for a large chunk of it.
Gohan's flying to and from.
Yeah, and it's just weird arguments between Yajirobe and Korin.
Oh, that stuff's great, though.
It is.
Especially in Abridged.
Yeah, the Abridged.
The romance.
The Abridged just paints these characters beautifully.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, Icarus, man, like, please die.
They killed off Icarus technically killed him off in the Lord Slug Abridged, where they cooked him for food. They said it was finger licorice good. But he appears in the Abridged for Cooler's Revenge as well, but Goku's constantly trying to eat him.
Yeah. That's so good. What did you think of the henchmen, Mark? I actually quite liked... I actually like the henchmen this time around. Usually the henchmen are just kind of quite throwaway, but I like their kind of inter-banter dynamics, and the dude with the crazy retractable head was pretty cool, and I liked the suave guy. He was pretty cool as well. Yeah. With the sword hand and all that kind of stuff.
They did
very
that.
Goku Black-like.
Yeah, but I felt like they weren't really hiding it at all. They were sort of like Cooler's Ginyu Force.
Yeah, basically, except way less lame.
Yeah. And straight to the point. Like, they're a little bit flamboyant, but
like Cooler, more to the point.
Yeah. But in the Abridged is pretty good as well, because the long-necked guy doesn't talk at all, he just screams. And it's just like, when Piccolo shows up, it says like, okay, let me guess, you're the pretty one, you're the stupid but strong one, and you're the weird one. And like, the bulky guy goes, I'd say I'm more, was it like more rugged than handsome or something like that? And they said that the screaming guy's not stupid.
Oh, man. Yeah, I really like the henchmen. I don't know why. I just really like the henchmen this time. It's just, I don't know, their dynamics seem to really work for me.
Yeah, what's like the one with the sort of like pretty boy one, just like rocks up and eats their food.
Yeah. It's just handled really nicely. Like, I mean, it took them 5 movies to get the henchmen right, but they seemed cool and well handled, and had some interesting abilities as well. Like I said, the Suavia purple guy with white hair, and he had the saber hand. Sounded really cool when he was fighting Piccolo in the forest, just chopping down trees. And again, the banter between the weird reptile dude with the retractable head and the bulky dude was a lot of fun. Yeah, really cool. I liked it. Overall, though, I mean, again, we've gotten a little bit off the beaten track. Back to the story. Again, there's not much to it. Cool is out for revenge. He seeks revenge for Goku slaying his brother. As we know at the start of the movie, it's ultimately Cool's fault because he let Goku go as a child in his capsule when he was escaping Vegeta when Frieza was blowing that up. But again, it's a typical revenge flick, much more pure and simplistic in its story because it is just a revenge flick. It has nothing to do with the Dragon Balls. And it's just he wants to kill Goku for killing his brother. That's it. Yeah. And I mean, other than the kind of lull that you mentioned with Icarus and Gohan flying to and from the lookout to get the sensu beans to heal Goku from that blast that he took from Cooler, yeah, like it was fun. You know, it doesn't faff around. It gets to the point. It was presented well. And before you know it, we've got Goku saving the day again with it was a punch this time. Thank God it wasn't.
It was a Kamehameha.
It was Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Doesn't he punch him in the Kamehameha? Never mind, I'm getting confused with Broly, man. Yeah, you're right. It was a Kamehameha. He blasts him into the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
And we got another good Piccolo fight.
Yes. That's something I keep noticing about the movies is they represent Piccolo really well until Gohan comes in and fucking ruins everything every time. He's just a badass.
There's like he suddenly remembers he's got stretchy arms in the forest.
How sick was that though? That scene where he's just like, the dude's like, oh, what the hell is that? And he's just like chasing him with the arms. That's sick, man. Really cool. Yeah, I love the way they handle Piccolo.
Yeah, they've always nailed it in the movies.
No pun intended.
Did not intend that. You can tell when I pause and laugh after.
Oh, man. Cooler though. What do you think of Cooler?
I love Cooler. I've always had a soft spot for him. Like basic design. I like it in terms of colors, because it's just like it looks better than Frieza's final form. Like Frieza's final form meant more because we saw the forms leading up to it.
Yeah.
But like Cooler's base thing, you're like, ooh, it's like sort of colored in Frieza.
Yeah, he feels more armory or like a little more defined in certain areas of his body rather than Frieza's final form was much more sleeker all over. Like he's wearing like a latex spandex suit or something. And then, Cooler looks more... Oh, you're talking about his next form?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Jesus.
That's how you finish it.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, that's intense. Again, like I stated before recording, I actually didn't remember this movie as fondly as what I did after I've watched it. Like, it was actually really cool. Just a straight up revenge flick. Cooler was a lot cooler. Definitely no pun intended there. A lot cooler than I remember. Again, just presented well. He just seems like a cool dude in the most evil way possible. He just seems badass. And then you see him go the final form, his next form that he discovers with the extra horned armor. And you're just like, whoa.
And he's just as fast. Like, he's not slow.
Yeah, shit gets real. Like, I don't think we've seen Goku get so completely outclassed in a movie since maybe, or at some point in the series, since the Broly movie. He's just completely outclassed.
Like, it's pretty much this fight, Broly, and bits of Android 13 where he gets outclassed.
Yeah. Not even Kaioken just completely destroys him in Kaioken.
Yeah, he plants him in the ground.
Yeah, it's very visceral and very brutal. Yeah, so there we go. One little nitpick I find with this movie, though, Mark, and again, this is a victim of the movies running in conjunction of the series, and they don't quite fit in properly, and that's why we kind of just class it as a bit of side canon type material, even though the series is referenced in this movie, which makes it even more frustrating, is that Goku's completely outclassed until he goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you can see the glaring issue there is if he could go Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza, why would he not do it against Cooler straight away?
Yeah. If he knew he was going to be that much of a threat right away.
Yep. So, just one of those interesting hang-ups that are prevalent all the way through the movies.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, like, where you try to class it, like, wherever it is, it's clearly after Frieza. But when Goku returned to Earth, like, so Vegeta should technically be there, sort of thing. But when Goku returned to Earth, he had full control over his Super Saiyan powers. In the movie, it almost seems like it's still triggered by rage.
Yep.
Because it wasn't until he saw, like, the animals dying that he triggered it. Or if you're sort of trying to define it as, oh, why didn't he go earlier? It's just... It's this weird grey area where the movies exist in this alternate universe where Goku sometimes has powers or sometimes has sense.
Yeah, and they're just portraying it differently. Like you said, like maybe it would seemingly be that, he would have used Super Saiyan to defeat Frieza, but he hasn't mastered it yet. And it's just been triggered out of him again. But it's just one of those frustrating little hang-ups, inconsistencies between the movies and the series, which, maybe it's good that Super's fucking remaking him to tie him directly into the series now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these new movies are still retconning original Dragon Ball Z. So
yeah, it's just they're retconning stuff that shouldn't be retconned.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Bardock movie was solid. Just leave that.
Yeah, we're seemingly just going around in circles with inconsistencies, which is, I think, always going to be the case with Dragon Ball. And again, I maintain, don't look at anything as being too canon unless look at the series as being canon if you must, but everything else, just look at it, it's kind of its side universe type stuff.
I swear, if they give Goku another sibling, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh man. Jeez,
we've had it with this family he's never seen.
Mark, any final thoughts on this movie before we move on to our scores?
But both this and the abridged are pretty much on par with each other with how good they are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just both solid films.
It's been a while since I've seen the abridged, but I mean, none of the abridged movies disappoint, in my opinion.
Yeah, they never have.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite action scenes that you took away?
I really like when Piccolo shows up and sort of fires a bolt, and they're like, "Oh, you missed," and then it's like he hit the like bulky dude behind.
Yeah,
the weird guy.
Cool. I quite liked the forest scene with Piccolo.
That whole chase sequence.
Yeah, that was just cool. I just liked it. I liked the animation and the flippy arms going through the forest. Thought felt really cool. I know it's not much of an action scene, but still really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't get much stuff like that in Dragon Ball. Usually, it's all flying in the
air. Mark.
Yeah.
Give me your rating. Let's do it.
I think. Oh, did we do like that? We can do 0.5s? I feel like we did.
Yeah, we do. We do 0.5s.
Yeah. All right. I think it's probably 5.5 out of 7.
Ooh.
We're getting higher slowly.
Interesting. I think I'm going to give it the same, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.5. That's where I'm about pegging it. This week as well, as of this recording, you'll find our review ratings down below in the description box as well. So head on down to see how this one stacks up in comparison. I think this is actually the second highest I've given, with World's Strongest.
Yeah, you really dug World's Strongest.
I think I gave that a 7, I'm pretty sure. But check down in the description box anyway if you want to see our ratings. And you might notice as well that this week we've forgone how well it's aged. I don't really think that's relevant anymore. I mean, we're kind of at that gold standard of Z animation, I think, at this point. Would you agree with that, Mark?
Yeah, as soon as we hit Lord Slug, it pretty much hit the sort of Dragon Ball peak for animation.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to see any overall glaring age issues from this point on. I think it's all just going to be looked at as being Z. So I think we'll start dropping that. But let's wrap her up, Mark. Leave your thoughts and comments on Cooler's Revenge down below in the comments. Let us know what your favorite moments were. Let us know your rating out of 7 Dragon Balls. Next week, we will be covering Metacooler. 2 Cooler movies back to back. I actually, from memory, did quite enjoy the Cooler sequel. I don't know about you, Mark.
I remember the story being funny.
Well, Goku gets punched in the dick, so
no,
that's good.
Vegeta does.
Oh, Vegeta gets punched in the dick.
Goku gets punched in Super Android 13.
That's true. Some extra homework for any listeners that are regulars: go watch the abridged of that movie because those dick scenes are great. If you've enjoyed this episode, however, guys, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to us on any of the popular podcast services, being SoundCloud and iTunes, be sure to come over and check out our YouTube channel, where, yes, you'll find content outside of anime and Dragon Ball. We actually predominantly cover video games, but if video games are your thing, come on over and check us out. Until next week, though, guys, have a good one.